everyone, welcome back to Bringing More to the Table. I'm Shelley. Today I'm going to be making a keto cream cheese almond pound cake. Ingredients are very simple, so let's get started. Today we have 4 ounces of softened cream cheese, 3 room temperature large eggs, a 1/4 cup of unsalted melted butter, 1/2 cup of sweetener. I'm using erythritol. You can use whichever blend you like. 1 teaspoon of almond extract and a teaspoon of lemon, which is optional. 2 cups plus 2 tablespoons of almond flour, 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Okay, so we're going to get started by putting our cream cheese into our bowl here and getting this whipped up. It is nice and soft, so that makes it a little nicer to blend. And I'm just going to start by giving this a quick mix before I add my eggs in, just to make it a nice transition. Make sure it's good and creamy, so you don't have any lumps. That's good. So that's maybe 20 seconds, as long as your cream cheese is soft. So I'm just going to add all my eggs in together. And then I'm going to add in my sweetener. Give this a mix. Put my butter in. Now I'm going to mix that up, and then I'm going to add in my extracts. So I'll be right back. Hi there. So this is mixed up. It takes about 30 seconds or so. So I'm just going to stop the mixer and I'm going to add in my extracts. So this one is the vanilla. Sorry, not vanilla. Almond. So 1 teaspoon of almond extract. Now the lemon extract is optional. You can add it if you like lemon. If you don't, you don't have to. It's not going to change the flavor. It just adds a little bit something extra to it. Okay. And 1 teaspoon of that. Okay, so I'll just give that a little mix. Just incorporate it into our batter here. All right, smells wonderful. That lemon, nice and fresh. Now I have 2 cups plus 2 tablespoons of fine ground almond flour. Just pour it into your batter like so. 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder right on top. And I said 1/2 teaspoon of salt. It's actually 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Don't want it too salty. I've made that mistake before with salt. Okay, now we're just going to mix this in. I'm not going to use the blender to mix this in. I don't want to over mix my batter. So I'm just going to use a whisk. And I'm just going to put that over that. So just give it a nice little mix. You don't have to go crazy with it. It incorporates quite easily. And you don't want to over mix your batters anyway. All right, so I'll see you in a second when I'm going to put this into the loaf pan. All right, so we're all mixed up here. As you can see, it didn't take long at all, maybe like 30 seconds. So now I'm gonna get this into my loaf pan. This is just a regular loaf pan lined with parchment paper. And it's just going right in there. It's gonna bake at 340 degrees for 30 to 40 minutes. So just right into the loaf pan. This is a nice dessert for tea or coffee, afternoon snack, whatever you like. You can dress it up with some fruit. There we go. And I'm also going to put some sliced almonds on top of this, just for a little bit of decoration. That's totally optional, but it does give a nice flavor. And if you like almonds, you're really going to love this recipe. So I have my silvered almonds here. Just sprinkle them on the top of the cake. And that's perfect. Okay, give it a little shake. There's our almond cream cheese pound cake. Going into the oven, 340 degrees for 30 to 40 minutes. You're going to want to keep an eye on this after 30 minutes just to make sure it's not burning and getting overcooked. Test it with a toothpick, and then I'm going to set my oven for 30 minutes, so I'll see you in 30. My cake's been baking for 43 minutes, so I'm going to take it out of the oven. It's nice and brown, perfectly baked. You do have to keep an eye on these cakes once you get to the last little bit of baking. Now, as you can see, you want to have it nice and browned around the edges, and the almonds are nicely toasted. Now, this cake is good for diabetics as it's sugar-free, keto-friendly. It's perfect with some icing sugar on the top of it or some fruit beside it, or just plain like this. So I'll see you back once it's cooled, and I'm going to cut my cake is cooled. I'm going to take it out of the pan now. Just slightly lift it out with the parchment paper. And you can see how nicely it browned and cooked. So I'm just going to cut a slice here, and I'll show you how it looks inside. So this is a nice delicate cake. You might want to make sure that it is cooled before you cut it and serve, just so that the texture is nice, and it's quite nice. Nice crumb on it, nice and moist. So like I say, this is a delicious cake, keto and diabetic friendly. Be good served with a little bit of fruit if you like, or however you would like to serve it. Enjoy, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.